want to hear them ringing. Turn theirs up, please. You're on. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Why Can't We Do That? We're going to have a little bit of a different show this evening, but I want to go over a couple things that have happened this week. We had a big election on Tuesday. One of the most mind-numbing things is in the city of New London, the people that turned out to vote overwhelmingly voted yes to increase their taxes. That's going to have a negative impact across the board on a lot of families and a lot of people in the community. I stood at the polls, I had signs, vote no, a yes vote will increase your taxes. There were several city officials standing on the opposite side with vote yes signs. They were telling the voters a yes vote will not increase your taxes. They blatantly lied to the public. Some people say that if they don't own a house, their taxes are not going to go up. Everybody that owns a car in New London that's registered in New London, your motor vehicle taxes are going to go up 33.33%. The tax rate is going up from 27 mils to 38 mils. Okay, that's a 10 mil increase. That's 33%. Okay, just over actually. So it's a huge increase for the average taxpayer. For some families, if they own multiple cars, some of these families are right on the cusp of making it and not making it. This could be anywhere from $100 to $400 a year in an increase in taxes. So tonight, we're going to do a little bit different on our show. I'm going to have some guests in here that are going to spend. These guests are from an organization that does a phenomenal amount of work in the community. They don't really care who it is that they help. They'll help anybody. They're there whenever there's a crisis, whenever there's an emergency, when there's a fire and somebody's displaced, if there's any kind of crisis in the community, they're there, regardless of who the people are. They don't care what denomination they are, they don't care what race they are, they don't care what their religious beliefs are. It doesn't matter. This organization, their volunteers come out every time there's an issue. They stand behind the members of our community every single day. They do it quietly, except at this time of year. Then they start to make a little bit of noise. So we're going to hope that we can get you people out there to make a little bit of noise, because there's going to be far more families in New London in this next year that are going to need help from someone. Some kind of organization is going to have to stand up and help these families out. When they get their tax bills in January, right after the holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, whether you celebrate Kwanzaa, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, whether you just celebrate the holiday, if you don't have a specific name for it. When you get those big tax increases in January for your home, if you own a home or a building, for your business and your business property, if you own a business in London, and for your motor vehicles, there's going to be a lot of shocked and surprised people, because they're then going to realize that they were lied to by the very leaders that they should be able to turn to and expect honest, truthful answers when it comes to issues. The people of New London were duped at the polls. So today our show is going to be a little less political than normal. And I would like to introduce a couple guests. I have with me today, they reached out to me and I've done some work with them in the past. But Thomas Spencer Wise is going to join us. He is a longtime friend, and he has his commander-in-chief.
Thank you for having us.
From the Salvation Army.
Thank you.
And they're here. They're an army of volunteers. Thomas, could you please?
My pleasure. This is our Corps Commanding Officer who's been with us since July of last year. And he and his wife have been taking on quite the Corps. His name is Captain Jose Barreau, and it's really an honor and pleasure to work under him.
Good.
Thank you.
What I want to do tonight is the theme of the show is I want to explain what it is that you guys do, because this is the time of year that you get loud.
Yes.
You
yes,
and
we
your
do.
people get loud. Maybe not loud enough, maybe you need to get louder, okay? But this is a time of year that you get loud, and I want to go over just a little bit of history of what you would do, and then we're going to make a challenge to the members of the community. I've already presented this challenge to some individuals, have gotten some response, and we're going to challenge everybody, because we're going to see who can make the most noise,
Perfect.
okay? So, as the big dog at the Salvation Army in London, can you give us a little breakdown of the Salvation Army in London, how long you're there, who you serve, and who you turn away?
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for inviting me here to your show. Well, the Salvation Army was founded about 150 years. Actually, next year we will be our 150-year anniversary. And then in New London,
Let me just interrupt you for
Sure.
1 second. I have one phone call. Good evening. Thank you for calling. Is this you, Ray?
Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
Who's your guest?
I have the Salvation Army with me this evening.
Hi. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Ray.
hello, Ray.
I hear your calls all the time.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Are you from New London?
Yes, we are.
Oh, down on what is that street there? The bus goes down. Governor Will O'Neill, something like that.
We're in 11 Governor Winthrop,
Yeah, yeah.
between the police station and the Holiday Inn Hotel.
I know it's that.
Ray, do you have a specific question? Because we want to cover a lot of information with them tonight.
What are you talking about?
Well, what I want to do is if you can just watch and listen, you'll be able to hear the whole story. And I
Yeah.
like these guys. They got some very important information to put out. So can I let you go?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for calling in, Ray.
All right. Bye.
All right. Have a great night. Ray calls in every week. He's
Every
one of our
show.
all-star callers. He's a great guy.
Wonderful.
But I'd like you to continue on with the history.
Wonderful.
So it's 150 years old.
Yeah, we're 150 years old. Actually, here in New London, we've been 130 years old. We're one of the oldest Salvation Army in the country here in the United States. We've been serving, for 138 years. I think we were right in downtown New London, and then we have moved a couple of times. In the Salvation Army, I like what you said that we're making some noise, and what we're trying to do is trying to be the person who spoke for those who cannot speak for themselves. They don't tell what they need. People don't know they're suffering, and we're there for them, helping them. For example, we have a food pantry, and we have over 300 families that we serve every month. We also have our emergency disaster service program where we go to fires, where we go to emergency. For example, we're one of the first who went to the 9/11 in New York City. When there's a hurricane, we're there responding. And we also have emergency assistance like for electric, rent, and we also help with oil. Pretty soon we're going to be helping with oil.
Clothing.
We also help with clothing.
Furniture.
We help with furniture. We send kids to camps every summer, and we pay everything. The community doesn't have to pay anything. The kids, we send them for free. It's from July all the way to August.
So real quick, can you tell me who is it that you turn away that you will not serve?
Nobody.
So you take care of everybody.
We try.
And to demonstrate that point, when he mentioned the food pantry, currently our statistic shows that we're giving up to 3,000 pounds of food a week. You go to see our pantry right now and you'll see it bare.
That's completely amazing. As a matter of fact, tomorrow evening there's a little get-together at Hot Rods Cafe, and the Republican Town Committee has reached out to the community to say, hey, come to their event, celebrate, and bring a non-perishable food item. Do you guys interact with like the Gemma Moran? Do you guys work together?
Actually, yes. We work really closely with the Gemma Moran Food Bank. They help us a lot with their food. Most of our food we purchase from them. So we work really good together.
Okay, great. That's good, because it's really tough for the people. They don't know who do they really give to. But I think when you give to the Gemma Moran Food Center, I think it gets funneled out to all the
Yeah.
organizations.
Exactly.
So, okay, that's a good, because I didn't know that. That's why I'm asking that question. So as an organization, you reach out and you'll help anybody that's in need. And
Anybody.
unfortunately, I think that this year is going to be extremely busy for you.
It's been a hard year. It really has.
So can you explain to me the kettle program? You have the kettle behind you. We started out with you guys ringing the bells and with the kettle behind you.
Of course.
Can you explain to me how that whole program came about and actually what happens with it?
Yeah, this started in California more than 50 years ago, when a court officer just like me was trying to get some funding for his soup kitchen. And then what he used to do, he used to put in the morning. He used to put the pot where he used to cook the soup, and he used to put it in the front of the building, and people will donate. And with that money, he will make the food for the evening, and that how it became that's what we call it, the kettle, because it was actually a kettle that he used. But now it came up so good for the community. The community was supporting so good that all Salvation Army now around the world do it. And at least in this location, it supports 50% of our budget. So we really need this. Last year we raised around $108,000, which helps support a lot of our programs. And just to let you know, the Salvation Army only takes less than 10% for administrative and all the things that we need to support this program.
Yeah, you got to turn the lights on.
Yeah, but the rest go back to the community. And in that 10% is also the payroll, because unfortunately, we don't get that many volunteers. So we have to pay for somebody to be standing there ringing the bell. And if we can reduce that amount of people that we have to pay, that money will go back to the community. And that's what we're trying to do. That's why I want to tell our community that the Salvation Army needs your help. We need volunteers. We need people to come and help us ring the bell. It can be 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours.
We're going to talk about that a little bit, because last year, Thomas came to me, and I was a member of the Southeastern Connecticut Central Labor Council. I was a delegate for my union. And I went to the meeting and I presented all this to, hey, they're shorthanded, they need bell ringers. And I don't believe any of them, and that's thousands of union members from Southeastern Connecticut, not one of them stood up to volunteer even 2 hours.
Wow.
But one of the point that I want to emphasize, I'm going to make that challenge again. I'll send an email out to them looking for volunteers, and we'll keep track.
Perfect.
Okay? Because if they could come and stand at the polls in New London and tell people that their taxes are not going to go up if they vote yes, so that these union people get more money and more jobs, building schools and stuff, then these union people should come out and they should volunteer. They should put up a little bit for the community.
Of course.
So we're going to, part of this show, folks, is we're going to put a challenge out. I spoke with Paul Formica at the polls on Tuesday. He's our new senator for the 20th district. And I said to Paul, I said, Paul, when you win today, and he did win, I want you to do a shift with the Salvation Army as a bell ringer. Paul didn't hesitate at all. Not a second hesitation. He says, absolutely. He even said if he didn't win, he would ring. So we're going to extend that challenge to all sitting politicians. New London Board of Ed, the New London City Council. And we're going to keep track. The Groton Town Committee, the elected officials from all of these serving communities. Sum it up for me. Tell me, what communities do you serve? What's your area?
Well, New London, Waterford, Niantic, Montville, Clinton, all the way to North Stonington.
To put it shortly.
So you go from Clinton to North Stonington?
Yes,
Practically.
we serve.
How far north?
We serve
All the way to
southern half.
Norwich,
We
like-
go up to Montville, and Norwich serves the northern half of New London County. But we serve from Montville down to the Limes, going north to south, and then east to west we serve Clinton all the way out to Stonington, Pawcatuck area. So if you can think about how big of that area it is,
Yes.
and how many people in that area, it's a huge. It's very mind-boggling. how
I'm
many people-
thinking of the politicians in this area alone. That's where my thought are. These politicians stood up during this election cycle and they said they're there for the community. We're going to give them a chance
Right.
to put their time where their mouth is. They're standing up for the community. We already know that our newest state senator, Paul Formica, has said he will donate time. Okay, so we're gonna reach out to the others. We're gonna make that challenge. I'm gonna work with you guys to push that challenge. We'll send out emails, we'll make the contacts, we'll keep track, we'll give updates on the show, because you know what? Some of these people come out and volunteer. Hey, why can't we do that? Why can't we all volunteer? So we'll do a big push. We'll reach
That'd
out
be
to the
good.
union members. We'll reach out to the politicians. We'll reach out to the staff in the cities, and we'll reach out to local businesses. Okay? Let's put a face on this. It's going to be a terrible year with the tax increases, not just in New London, but it's going to be a bad year for everybody. Charitable donations are down.
And-
We're asking people. You're not asking these volunteers to give money. You just want them to come and ring the bells, and we'll get others to donate.
Yes.
The thing about that too, though, is that we've already had 10 months of really upping the help. And now we're coming into our last 2 months, and this is, if we compare what we've done for the first 10 months of the year, when this last 2 months, when everybody comes out saying, I need help, I need food back, and
So
I need
Jose,
this,
tell
I
them, when
need
do you
that."
start bell ringing?
Oh, we're gonna start in November 15.
Okay.
We're gonna go all over to December 24.
Okay, so 9 days. We start in 9 days.
We turn 9 days, yes. We're gonna have our kettle kickoff at the Crystal Mall, November 14 at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so we'll promote that. I will talk to some of the other media outlets, and we'll push this issue. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, folks. We're going to talk about the different ideas that we can do. We're going to have them break down their shifts, what they're looking for volunteers for. They're looking for 2-hour shifts. I'm thinking, come on, people. If you can spend 8 or 10 hours at the polls lying to the public, telling their taxes aren't going to go up if they vote yes, you can come and do 4 hours minimum at least twice at your convenience. You don't even have to take a day off of work, because you guys ring till what time? What time of day do you start and what time do you end?
We start at 10 o'clock in the morning and we ring it all the way until 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, are there any locations, because I know like the Walmarts are open 7 by 24, do you ring at any of those locations later, or is it all end of date?
It depends. As we get closer to Christmas, we go all the way to 9 or 10 o'clock.
Okay,
Friday to Saturdays.
so
we do.
we'll put together a program on who we're gonna challenge and invite.
That will be a perfect, and I love what you said, that we should make some noise, and we should call it, just like you said, let's see who can make more noise in this Christmas.
Well, let's see, which union out there, we have a lot of unions in southeastern Connecticut. Some of them watch, some of them don't, but we'll send letters out. I'll send emails out to the Central Labor Council. Let's see what union can mobilize the most of their members to come and do something good for the community, come and do
That'd
something
be
for the
good.
Salvation Army. Everybody benefits.
Yes.
So we'll make that challenge. I'll put an email together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll send that out. We'll make that challenge to see, and we'll keep track.
Of course.
And we'll update people weekly.
Mm-hmm.
We could even put on your Facebook page.
We can put it on the Facebook. We can actually put it on the sign that today that kettle is being sponsored by organization, by store, or by whoever wants to.
Business versus
We can put it there.
business,
So thousands of people will see it. So it's a good way to promote also your organization.
Excellent. I think that would be great.
And if
So
you-
tell me how the shifts, lay out what happens between now, the next 9 days as you organize to get ready for this, and what happens, what the locations are, and what's really involved.
Okay.
And does Thomas do all the training
Tom,
for the bell ringers?
some of it.
Okay, all right.
Well, we're gonna start. We're gonna start November 15. But first, we're gonna have our kettle kickoff on November 14 at the Crystal Mall at 11 o'clock. We're gonna have some members of the local government. We have members of the fire department, police department, and other organizations in the area that always help us. We're gonna be there announcing to our community that a kettle campaign started. Then on November 14, we're gonna be starting. We usually start first in the Crystal Mall. Crystal Mall is one of the best locations that we have. Then we go to Walmart, Stop and Shop, and all over North Torrington to Clinton. That's all our area that we collect. We have about 14 stores, and some of the stores we have 2 locations. Two doors. We start in 2 doors. And what people can do is just when you come, you let me know how many hours you can do. You let me know when you can do it. And I can put you there. We can even take you there. We have volunteers who drive the van and can take you right to a location and then pick you up after you finish from your shift. We can do a 4-hour shift. We can do an 8-hour shift. We can even do a 2-hour shift if that's possible for you. You have to remember that each hour that you give me is that you give to the Salvation Army, that you give to the community, is money that you save that go back to the community. And also, when people see people from the community doing this, they tend to support more and put more in the bucket, in the kettle.
So do you keep track of how much each person or
Yes,
each organization
absolutely.
collect?
We actually count every day. We actually have a track it every day. We have all the stats. So as soon as you do it, next day I can send you an email, tell you who was there, how many hours, and how much they did.
So we could track, we could have a challenge between different organizations.
Absolutely.
We could have a challenge between.
call that the battle
We could
of
have
the
a
bell.
challenge between the city council in New London and the Board of Ed and see which group of 7 can raise more money.
Well, that would be a blessing. We have something similar. We call it Battle of the Bells. It's a friendly competition where we have churches competing against churches, schools against schools, businesses against businesses, families against
Lawyer
families.
versus lawyer.
And at the end, we do a big party, and whoever do more hours, we give them a big trophy. And each year, whoever wins get that trophy for the whole year. in
Kind
their
of like the
business.
Stanley Cup. It rotates
like the
around.
Stanley Cup,
It's all
yeah.
engraved with their names?
Yes, is a big bell, and it will tell you you were the winner for the Battle of the Bells.
We also-
And the good thing is that everybody wins.
Is there an age limit?
Well, if it's under 17 by law, you have to be
With an adult.
together with an adult.
Okay.
But if you're 17 or older, you can be by yourself.
Okay, but
We
does
also-
it have to be a related adult or just with an adult?
No, it has to be somebody who could be responsible for that minor.
Okay,
So it could be we have schools that do it. We have kids that go, and the teacher is there with them. So that's how we do it.
Or a chaperone of any
Or a
type.
chaperone. It has to be it could be a church and doing it with a youth group. They can do it too.
We also have Rotary organizations like Kiwanis or Lion Club, and they also can have a challenge of, this Lion Club versus that Lion Club, or even this Lion Club versus Kiwanis that day.
Yeah.
And they do that too.
We're trying to put this program together, and as of today, we have the Kiwanis from New London. They have always supported us.
Oh, they're a great organization.
They are really great. And we are trying to get other organizations, other service club in the area to also do it.
Well, let's try to get some businesses. Let's try to get some businesses to compete in the community.
And I can make it more easier. It costs me $90 to put somebody there every day. Let's say a store doesn't have enough employees to put somebody there. They can donate that $90, and I can say that day that kettle worker was paid by or was sponsored by your store, your organization, your business.
That's great, but I really want to start to see the people start to donate some time from their people. And get their employees to donate their time. We want people to give back to the community. I think it's important if my neighbors see me ringing the bell, they're probably going to donate more.
Exactly.
Because it's not a distant person. It's not somebody they don't know. You're more apt to give money up to somebody that you know.
It's proven. It's proven. When we have somebody that is well known in the community, is from that neighborhood, we usually get more money. More people wants to donate because they see it there. They see
So how many
neighbors.
kettles a day do you have operating?
Oh, we have
12 to 20.
around 22 kettles.
So if you have 22 kettles a day and it costs you $90 a kettle.
Or kettle, yes.
Okay, we're talking, a couple $1,000s a day it's costing you if you don't get volunteers. So if we can get enough volunteers, we're actually increasing your revenue by $2,000 a day if we can staff all those volunteer slots.
And that go back to the community. That's money that I can use to help somebody for rent. That's money that we can use to buy clothing, buy furniture.
The clothes that they can't buy because they got to pay the car tax increase.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, this daily, that people debate either they buy food or they pay the bills.
And it's funny
we
it's funny that you do mention that because we have also, when I was talking earlier about the 10 months, you have a stereotype of what type of people come in to get help from the Salvation Army, but this year there's been a lot of professionals coming in, nurses and stuff like that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know what? We have a big change. The people that were talking to vote yes, which raised our taxes, I'm going to push this from the same angle I push it. This is for the kids. Hey, come and say yes to volunteering to ring the bells for the kids.
Perfect.
Okay? That's what they use. Yes, for the kids. Volunteer your time for the kids in the community. Because the families come to you, the families are feeding their kids. The families are clothing their kids. They're getting money for oil from you guys. The money for the oil is keeping the kids warm.
Yes.
This is really about the kids.
Let me tell you a story. Last year, I met a family. They have 10 kids. 10 kids, 2 set of twins. Beautiful kids. But as you see, having 10 kids, they're struggling. And it really touched my heart. I really fell in love with them. So it was getting close to Christmas, and they were not getting adopted by the Angel Tree program that we have. So I went to them and said, I want you to tell me what do you want. Do a list. And when I see you next week, tell me what you want for Christmas. You know that none of them put a toy. They all put socks, t-shirts,
Clothing.
Jackets. The 2 oldest one, they asked just for makeup or things to make them, because they're already teenagers, and they're just trying to appear better to their fellow classmates, and that broke my heart, because I have 4 boys, and when I asked them, what do you want for Christmas? They want to tell me a PS3, PS4, whatever they call it today, but it's going to be over $200.
PS12, PlayStation 12. I don't know what they are today.
It is, but it's going to be more than $200 for each kid.
Right.
They are not even thinking about a toy yet, because they're still thinking about their basic.
Well, because they know that
need.
their families are struggling.
Exactly. So these are the families that we're helping. Just 2 days ago, I had a lady coming into our office. She was crying because her electricity was cut off a couple of weeks ago. And now she has no heat at the house. And she had 3 girls. And she was trying to get money. So, she was trying to get somebody to help her so we can put electric to her house.
Just so you know, folks, we do have the website up, and they're also on Facebook, but you can call that 860-443-6409 number, and you can speak to whoever answers the phone there. You can give them your name and tell them you're willing to volunteer to do a shift. Do 4 hours, do 6 hours, do 8 hours. Pick a day off. Do an evening after work. If you work in the afternoons, you can go in and you can bell ring before you go to work. They can probably find you a location that's on your way to work. You can go there, ring your bell, and then go on to work, and it really doesn't impact your day. And what more could you possibly do for the community this holiday season? And between November and when they close us the end of December, do a couple of shifts. Help them out. If we could get just the politicians and 1% of the union members in southeastern Connecticut, in the area that's covered by the Salvation Army, if we could get 1% of their membership and every elected politician to do a shift, I don't think you'd have to pay anybody to ring bells.
Well, that will be a
wonderful.
blessing. But we just want your help. We just want anybody who wants to donate an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. We'll take you. We need you. The community needs you. It's a good chance for you to see how people are so grateful that there's somebody there standing for those in need. And you can be that person standing there for those who are in need, that we don't see them. We probably see them when you come through the street and you see them in their houses. But right now, there's a lot of need that a lot of people are not seeing. And the Salvation Army can help them, and you can help them. If you just give me 4 hours, 8 hours, it will be a blessing for a family this holiday season.
And I think you'll feel good. People feel good when they volunteer. One year, my kids were very upset because they said, what are we doing? Are we going to Grandma's for Thanksgiving? I said, no, we're not going to Grandma's for Thanksgiving. They coming here? No, we're not doing Thanksgiving here either. We went and we volunteered, myself, my wife, and the kids.